Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is One and today we're going to be going over the Season 4 changes to the to the Summoner's Rift. Alright, so one of the things that's changed is we now have these fancy trinket items. The trinkets is basically you can pick one of them, you can sell it back and get a new one, but you pretty much get them for free at the start. We're going to talk more about that in a minute. First, we're going to talk about these brushes. If you notice, they're a little bit thicker than they were before down here at the bottom in the ADC lane. Then, as you notice, this brush used to reach all the way up to here. They shortened that down as well. Then we're going to move not a whole lot of changes to this side. If any, that brush may have been extended out. Made it a little bit thicker, the same with this brush and that brush, but otherwise that, I don't believe so. I believe this brush has been made a little bit shorter, same as this one, and this brush is a little bit wider as well. Now, this brush is one of the major changes. This used to be a brush all the way up to where I'm standing, and it used to go all the way up till here. They should cut that one down, and this brush from here down from in there. So that one got a major hedge trimming. This brush used to be all the way from here to there. And now we also have a new jungle creep called the Wraith. Now if you notice, I'm level 18 and Smite still does 1,000 damage. What people may not notice is it's going to start off at 290 to 350-ish, somewhere in that area. I want to say 290. Right, and the brush should just pass through, no real changes. Then we have this brush. Notice there's now 1, 2, 3 brushes on top lane. Show her to throw stuff at me. I don't know why bots keep doing it, they just run into me. Tank Mundo scary. Anywho, and if you notice, this brush is exactly the same as the other brush on the other side of the map. And finally, this brush is a bit shorter as well. Now those are the major changes to the brushes. I'm going to show you one more thing. If you guys remember, there's going to be some new gold income item. That's what they're naming it. This is a large wraith, and the item that I have, my gold income item, is the Spirit of the Ancient Golem. Notice it says Conservation. Upon killing a large or epic monster, it grants up to 40 bonus gold. And based on the last time you killed, based on the last time you used it. So I was at 80. It dropped me down to 40, which is it's 40 extra gold for just running around. But anyways. And once again, went down 40 more. And going to the third camp. So, there we go. Back down to 0. And it just keeps stacking up. As you can see, I bought this for my first item, Spirit of the Ancient Golem. The first item made completely out. And then I did not continuously gank so just off of fair jungling expectations, 1,000 some odd gold for 38 minutes. It's not great, but it's better than the old jungling item. Granted, it's missing health from before, 150 health. So, yeah. Next thing we're going to talk about is the trinkets. First off, we have the greater lens and correction. The greater lens is what it automatically becomes at level 9. Then you can buy it for an upgrade at level 9, spend 475 gold, and use it. Notice I now have Oracle little dot over my head, and it is scanning for traps that are invisible, and it will also disable them if I catch one in it. Really handy one. Then we're going to talk about the Scrying Orb. Scrying Orb is like a mini clairvoyance. At Level 1, it can go up to 1,000 range, and it's roughly about the same size of what I just showed you with the sweeping lens. Then the Farsight Orb, which is the maxed out version, goes 250 units away for 1 second, and it's a 90-second cooldown. So pretty short cooldown, right? Scrying is 90 seconds as well. And then we have the lenses. The Stealth Totem and the Greater Vision Totem. Now, first off, you start off with a Warding Totem. You put 3 of them down, they're going to last 60 seconds on a 120-second cooldown. AKA, you're probably never going to get all 3 down at once. Just saying. Then we have the upgrade at level 9, 120-second cooldown, 120-second life, and once again, still can place 3. And then when you upgrade it, you get 180 cooldown, and depending on which upgrade you go for, like this particular one is a stealth detection one, and the opposite is cooldown's gonna go down to 120 seconds. So you're pretty much getting a free ward. It's pretty decent. So those are the trinkets. Give me 1 second, because if I don't move, it will say I'm not here and kick me out. Next thing we're going to talk about is some visual upgrades. We have the Ancient Coin, which was also known as the Philosopher's Stone. The upgraded version of the Ancient Coin, which is the Nomad's Medallion, once again, Philosopher's Stone. We're going to talk about the rest of those in a second. We have the let's see, purely upgrade. So we have the Ruby Crystal, which got an upgrade. We have the Cage's Lucky Pick, that got a nice upgrade, more shiny. We have the Morellonomicon. I think it looks a lot better. Then the Archmage's Staff, the Sunfire's Cape, and the Yomu's Ghost Blade. And honestly, I do like what they did with all of them. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is the gold income items. So, I talked about one already, for the passive conservation. As you see, I can only have one true gold regenerating item other than the Avarice Blade. Avarice Blade, you can actually you can get that as well as one of the other ones. So, if I was to sell my Spirit of the Ancient Golem, notice how all of these pop up. Now, we're going to go through from the cheapest to most expensive. So we have the Ancient Coin, which is 2 gold every time a nearby ally kills an enemy minion and you did not kill it. Correction. Anytime an enemy minion dies and you did not kill it. So, it can die from a minion dying and you still get 2 gold from it. When you upgrade it to the Nomad's Medallion, you gain 4 gold for this just upgrading it. And it gains a 2 GP5, which is not passive. And then moving up to its third and final upgrade, Icon of the Sun Disc, you keep the 2 gold P10. Sorry, I know I said 5 before. And it moves, and it pretty much gives you the same exact thing as Shrellia's Reverie, but it gives you the 2 gold per 10 seconds, and you still keep the plus 4 gold each time a minion dies. So, great item. Next thing we're going to do is the Cage's Pick. 10 ability power, the magic regen is new, I believe. They added some magic regen to it. Pretty nice. And 2 gold per 10 seconds. Not gonna lie, pretty awesome. And basic attacks against champions grant 4 gold once every 10 seconds per enemy. Killing a minion disables this passive for 10 seconds. So it's basically the pickpocket passive from the old support tree. Now, that was called Pickpocket. The upgraded Cage's Lucky Pick is doubles the AP, doubles the mana regen, +1, and doubles the gold generation. Spell blades or spells and basic attack against champions grant 8 gold, and once every 10 seconds per enemy. Killing a minion disables this passive for 10 seconds. Excuse me for a moment. Finally, it upgrades into a Ice of True Shard. So, minus a 20 amp, you gain 10 ability power, gain 3 magic regen, mana regen, and hold on one second. And you keep the Spell Thief, and you gain Frost Nova passive, which is pretty much the same as it is now. Deal 50 damage and reduce movement speed of by 50%. So, pretty good upgrade if you ask me. Next, the Avarice Blade, unchanged. Yeah, I believe it's unchanged. Alright, we talked about the Nomad Medallion. Next thing we're going to talk about is the Relic Shield. The Relic Shield has the same icon as the Emblem of Courage, but completely, or pretty much different stats. It gains 50 health, 6 health per 5, and basic attacks execute a minion below 200 health. Killing a minion heals the nearest allied champion for 2%, and your maximum health grants them 5 plus whatever the kill was worth per goal. So, in a nutshell, your support like Tarek at bot lane. You steal one of your ADC's CS. Heaven forbid. Now, instead of them complaining and just throwing a tantrum and all that, they're going to still get gold. It's pretty awesome. They're actually getting 10 gold more. And they get healed for 2% of your health on top of it. So, at the Relic Shield, lowest level, it's 2%, then the kill plus 5 gold. And you can get twice in a minute. When you upgrade it to the Tarragon's Brace, it goes to plus 10 gold per minion kill, and it goes up to 4 times in 2 minutes. Finally, at level 5 or level 3, you gain 400 health, big hefty chunk from the 175 and the 180 from the ruby crystal that it takes. The effects stay at 2% and 10%, or sorry, 10 plus kill, and it can occur 4 times in 2 minutes. So pretty much evens out all across. But it gains an amazing ability. It consumes 20% of your health, current health, sorry, to the current target ally. Also can be put on yourself. For 10% of your maximum health. After 4 seconds, the shield explodes, dealing 10% of your maximum health as damage in the area. 60-second cooldown. Basically, you get Sion's shield, but based off of your maximum health. Pretty awesome. So now we have the jungling items again. Now, the Spirit of the Golem and the Elder Lizard are the same passive, Bounty Hunter. The Spirit of the Spectral Wraith, and it gains... I'm sorry. Golem has Conservation, Spectral Wraith and Lizard have Bounty Hunter. Champion kills, assists, and epic monsters grant 40 bonus gold, and large monster gains 10 gold. I don't know if it's going to even out for the assist and kills and epic monsters as much as I got for the ancient golem. 1,000 gold at 38 minutes, pretty nice. I mean, it's not perfect, but as far as the items go, it's pretty good. Now, the Avarice Blade is still the same as far as when you upgrade it, you lose the 2 gold generating passive, so it's good to know. But as you can see, I could still buy that Avarice Blade if I wanted to. So far, we talked about what items getting remodeled slash get a visual makeover slash getting added to the game. Next thing we're going to talk about is the new summoner icon masteries. I'm just going to go through real quick, tell you how many points is in the possible talent, read off what it does quickly, and then move on. It's unfortunately, I believe last time I tried this, it wasn't able to pick up a good definition. So, the first thing we have is Feast, restoring a unit. I'm sorry, killing a unit restores 2 health, 1 mana. Fury has 4 ranks, 1.25 attack speed, up to 5. Sorcery, 1.25 cooldown reduction, up to 5. We have Butcher, basic attacks and single target spells deal an additional 2 damage to minions and monsters. Does not trigger area effect or damage over time. Fair enough. Then we have Mental Force, ability power plus 6 at level 18. And maxes out at 16. Pretty decent. Brute Force starts off at plus 4, goes up to plus 10 at 18. Double-edged sword, melee damage, or for melee, damage an additional, deal an additional 2% damage and receive an additional 1% damage. So you do more damage, but you receive kind of sucks. Range additional by 1.25, receive 1.25. Spell weaving, damaging an enemy champion with a basic attack increases spell damage by 1%, stacking up to 3 times. Maximum 3% spell damage. So pretty much you keep consistently damaging a champion, you do more damage. Yay. Then we have Material Mastery plus 5 damage, flat. We have Arcane Mastery plus 8 to ability power, flat. We have Executioner, increased damage dealt to champions below 20% health by 5%, up to below 50% health by 5%. I actually like that more than the old passive they had at the level 21 spot. Dangerous Game, killing a champion restores up to 5% of missing health and mana. Pretty decent. We have the Archmage, increase ability power by 2% up to 5%. We have increase bonus attack damage by 2% up to 5%. The Blade Weaving, which is increased off of Spell Weaving, damaging an enemy champion with a spell increases basic attack damage by 1%, stacking up to 3 times, maxing up to 3% damage increase. Cannot trigger more than 1 a second. And then finally next we have Frenzy, which is critical hits grant 5 attack speed for 3 seconds, stacks up to 3 times. Not bad. We have Devastating Strikes, 2% armor and magic penetration, up to 6% in each. And then we have Arcane Blade, basic attack also deal bonus magic damage equal to 5% of the ability power. Very current to what it is in live, but they just put it, I believe, down a little bit in the tree. I'm not 100% sure. And then we have Havoc, increased damage by 3%. Hold on one moment. Had to catch my breath. Alright, next we're going into the defensive tree. Reduce incoming damage from champions. Basic attack by 1. And stacks up to 2 times for 2. Help recovery, 1 health per 5, up to 2 health per 5. Then we have increased enchanted armor, increased bonus armor and magic resist by 5% at max, and 1.25 at level 1. Tough Skin, reduced damage taken from neutral monsters by 1, does not affect lane minions. And then that goes into Bladed Armor, Taking basic attack damage from neutral monsters causes them to bleed, dealing damage equal to 1% of their current health each second. This is not working against lane monsters. Pretty much, that passive just got majorly boosted up. I'm pretty sure every... I'm not going to say that. It's close, though. Then we have Veteran Scars. You gain health. Starts at 12, ends at 36. Unyielding. Reduce all incoming damage from champions by 2. And range, reduce all incoming damage from champions by 1. So you can get a maximum of 4 melee and 3 ranged, if you're ranged. Not bad. Okay, so Oppression. Reduce damage taken by 3% from enemies that have impaired movement, such as a slow, snare, taunt, or stun. Okay. Juggernaut, 3% of your maximum health. Pretty nice. We have Hardness. You gain up to 5 armor from 2. And Resistance, starts at 2, ends at 5 for Magic Resist. And then we have Elusive Evasion? I have no idea. Starts with EVASIVE. Write in the comment, you get a cookie. Not a real cookie, but a Foracle cookie. Then we have Reinforced Armor, reduce damage taken by critical strikes by 10%. And sorry, the one I couldn't say is reduce damage taken by 4% of area effect magic damage. I'm not too impressed with that. Then we have Swiftness, reduce the effectiveness of slows by 10%. And did not go any higher, it's just 10%. And then we have Perseverance, regenerate 1% of missing health every 5 seconds. Wow. That's awesome. And going from that goes the second wind, increase all sources of incoming healing by 10% when below 25% health. Whew, that's strong. Tenacity, we have +1 armor and 0.5 magic resist for each nearby enemy champion, up to +4 armor and 2 magic resist. Interesting. Finally, we have Runic Shield. Start the game with 50 health shield. This shield regenerates each time after respawning. That one's interesting. Reduce the damage of crowd control effects by 15%. Which is interesting that they put that at the end. I guess CC is a very dominating thing, and I suppose if you build enough tenacity, some champions are going to be over 50%. And that was the defensive tree. Next we're going to move into the utility tree or support tree. So Phase Walker. Reduce the casting time of recall by 1 second, and Dominion 0.5 seconds. 1 of 1. And then we have Fleet of Foot. Flat plus 1.5 movement speed. Very interesting. Before it was when you're one in combat. Then we have Meditation, +1 to regeneration. +1 mana regen per 5. And Scout, increase the cast range of your wards and trinkets by 10%. Really handy on the mini clairvoyance one, I might add. Next up we have the Strength of Spirit, which is a drop off of meditation, which is gain 3 health regen equal to 10% of your maximum mana regen. I figure that's pretty good for those caster types. We have Alchemist, increase the duration of potions and elixir by 10%. I don't know how well that one fares, especially for supports. And increase the cooldown of summoners by 4, 7, and 10%. Summoned units and traps have a 10% increased duration. Does not work with wards. Interesting. This could be Timo's new favorite. And we have Greed, 0.5 gold per 10. Increase up to 1.5. Runic Affinity. Increases the durations of shrines, relics, quest, and neutral monster buffs by 20%. Vampirism, 1% lifesteal and spell vamp up to 3. And then we have Culling Mastery, increase health potion and upgrades. Health potions are upgraded into biscuits that have restore an additional 20% health and 10% mana instantly upon consuming. That's interesting. Inspiration, 1.5 experience gain per 10 seconds while near the highest level online champion. Now that's interesting, because usually the ADC is a lower level because of the support being there, along with and it's because the other two lanes are a complete solo lane. So it's quite interesting that that's what they chose to do. Oh no, it's at a higher level line champion. So the supports may stay a little bit longer so the ADC can get up ahead and the supports just get free XP. It's going to be great though because I know quite a bit of times the support is way under leveled. Expanded Mind, increase your maximum mana by 5% from 2. Wealth plus 40 gold, 40 starting gold. And then Scavenger plus 1 gold each time an allied kill a nearby lane minion. 1 rank. Then we have Bandit Melee grants plus 15 gold on champion kill or assist. Range plus 3 gold each time an enemy champion is attacked. This cannot trigger the same champion more than once every 5 seconds. So they kept their pickpocket basically. Just gave it a different name. Pretty good though. Intelligence plus 2 to cooldown reduction and reduces the cooldown of activated items by 4 up to 10% and the cooldown reduction went up to 5%. And finally Wanderer, 5% movement speed outside of combat. Like I said, they didn't change it, they just moved it down to the bottom. Alright, so that is the majority of the masteries. We went on over the jungle, the brushes, the items, and yeah, that is pretty much the lowdown. I don't know if they're keeping Revive and Clairvoyance, but we'll find out coming soon, because they're still there. This is Won't Fight, thanks for watching, and have a great evening.